last week, put up yesterday. And I hadn't erased the county council one for, I don't know, and I put it up, I put the first one up, I thought, wait a minute, I've seen Toad standing there. And I had to delete it. I have my laptop that I love, and then the big machine in the back. And I've been putting up videos with the laptop. And last time I tried, it wouldn't go. I mean, it was like before I had nobody, you know? So I took it to the back, and it worked just fine. So I didn't know what was gonna go on. But the laptop worked quite well yesterday.
Go ahead. I'm gonna start at the bottom of my list and then work up. First off is gonna be, asking permission to pull funds out of which I have in my utilities fund for advertising for the custodian part-time position I have open in the newspaper, so I can get more notice out there. I've done everything from social media to posting on the walls and stuff like that, but this will give me another avenue for approach, be able to advertise that position I still have available in the newspaper.
Do you want to transfer from one line to the other?
You were just gonna ask
Yeah.
them to advertise.
Just for advertising, permission to advertise.
I say, I don't think we need to vote on that, we just need to do it. If you have the money, my opinion, you got the money to do it, and you need the help.
My next question is, if you guys have any historical data for why the dumpster is that we utilize behind the insurance company? I have been told from the point I've been hired that to now that there used to be some kind of agreement, for a reason why our dumpster is behind the insurance company across the street. When it comes to winter and ice and stuff like that, and sometimes with heavy traffic, especially the way the parking spots are now, pushing the carts and stuff across and having to go through the parking lot or all the way around that's not plowed in the wintertime, makes it very, very difficult. I didn't know if you guys had any historical data for the agreement that was made or anything like that.
I just don't think they can get their truck to a circle drive, they would probably tear up our yards and stuff, that heavy truck going across the whole time. That's where he was wanting to put it up here.
I was thinking something like where, next to where the transformers are at, that contractor's spot, is where they could be able to whip in, hook up to it. And I didn't know if there was any underlying other than that, or an agreement that you guys are aware of. So I know that they utilize it as well, but I know that, we pay for the full bill. So I just didn't know if, hey, you guys pay the bill, you can use our parking spot as, for the dumpster.
I think if you wanna put it on the courthouse up here, we'd have to put some kind of privacy fence up behind it. I just do it on the dumpsters right now. Kind of cover up where the transformers are and.
And I understand that, I get that, I just kind of really looking for some kind of knowledge on, or background, agreement or anything else.
No background that I have on it.
I just think it was because the truck probably had
Well,
an
that's
issue
your
coming
right.
in.
Okay, yes, you're right.
Okay.
Who is it?
One thing though, excuse me, that is that, you don't have a lot of garbage going into the dumpster. You have,
It fills up, usually we're waiting, usually it's full, see, they come and empty out Tuesday, late morning, and usually Friday, we've got totes downstairs full, waiting for them to, cause it's filled up. With a lot of trash.
Orders that would come out of the dumpster, I mean, that's it.
We have it right now, we have the securable dumpster now, so it's under lock and key, because we're having issues where, general, whatever being dumped in there without being secured. But even with that, we're usually waiting a day, unload more trash into it, for them to unload.
United's just a safety factor in the winter time.
Correct.
You ain't gonna be walking across over there, with trash, a block and one, or half a block or more.
You can see that problem.
And I can understand with it being an eyesore, courthouse property as well too.
Who's our provider?
It used to be Advanced Disposal, but they were bought out by Waste Management, which is now Waste Management.
I would contact them and see if they can even get their truck in there before we make a decision.
Yeah, we'll do.
I know the city of Lafayette's got a small one that they use for areas like that. I just don't want tearing it up.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, absolutely, especially with the concrete barrier wall, yeah. Okay, then I will reach out to them and check on that.
That's good, Steve, I like that.
Last thing, is the auction. So reaching out and getting, some insight from different departments and what the items that they have. Know for sure we have one pool car, possibly two. The second one would be from, EMS. He has to get the radios and stuff out of it, if possible. So we're gonna have some vehicles. We have the shed that's currently where the new shed will be out here on the U drive, and other riding equipment, which are gonna be the bigger items. So my first question to you guys is, what type of auction would you like to have? To make it easier on Beth and I. I know that the last meeting you guys had mentioned silent auction. With the smaller stuff that's gonna be inside the building, I can see that being okay. I think with bigger items, like a sealed, auction, but it's up to you guys, a sealed, a silent auction on that as well, where they just fill out the sheet, or, just whatever is easier, but I'd like to have it at least, I ran on the first pool car that we have, I did a, JD Power, because I couldn't do a Kelly Blue Book assessment on it. At least we have a starting point on either type of auction you guys want to have, or however you guys wanna sell this stuff. Sealed auction, there'd be a little box, they fill out the paperwork, you put a bid in it, at the end of, when bids are all final, we go through, collect the boxes, and then we just, whoever's the highest bidder wins. That way people can't see what they're competing against, because they'll go into a box.
Well, Flora just sold a truck that I bought, it was sealed bid. And we've done sealed bids a lot of times for highway equipment over there.
So you'd have a box for each.
Correct, for the bigger items, yeah, the bigger items.
Explain what bigger items.
What I would include a bigger item is anything, engine powered, riding mowers, vehicles, anything that would be a general assessment of over $300 to $500. Anywhere from like shed, vehicles, riding equipment, stuff like that, anything with the general assessment of value over $300 to $500 will go into a sealed. I know Bob Burton's got a bunch of, lawnmowers and stuff he wants to bring over, and, that's been sitting around for a while. None of the motors are locked up, so, I mean, gas powered motor, it doesn't take much to get them up and running, or whatever else. Vehicle's really good, I just don't want an item go into the bid or to an auction, and it goes for like $50 when it's only needed about $100 part to fix it.
So you're saying you need
It's
to put
a
a,
chance when you go to anything
Well,
auction, so.
true, yeah, true, I'm just,
are you saying you wanna do minimum bid? And stuff like that?
I mean, don't you agree on something like that, like the pool car, for example, the one pool car we have is assessed for anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 based on its condition. So if we just do a silent auction and don't put a minimum bid on it, if it goes for $200, it goes for $200. If you guys are okay with that, that's fine. I'm not a car salesman or a dealership to really give a true value on it. I can just only go off of what, again, Kelly Blue Book, since it's a government vehicle, the VIN one comes up in JD Power Associates based on, the values and assessment of the car, so. If
Normally,
you,
do we trade in our extra vehicles when we do the sheriff's car?
We have,
We get better money out of them? We'll probably get more money out of them doing trading than doing the silent auction one.
well, are we in a situation though where we've got two or three to trade on the one, and you don't do very well on that?
I'm good considering getting them to do that.
Yeah,
I just say we just do a silent auction and do sealed auction.
The major thing about an auction like this is so that we don't accumulate massive amounts of stuff. It's not because this is going to be a major moneymaker for the county. And it kind of returns the stuff back to the people they're interested in. Item, whatever you guys want. You wanna have it with a box like that for sealed bids, or do you wanna just, I mean, last time we did it, you walk up there and you'd see who bid what, and you just write down.
I'm fine with that, that's what you
Well,
guys
we
do.
had numbers, you didn't really know
Yeah,
who
numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
it was, you just know that the bid was in
Oh,
dollars. or
Yeah, everyone had,
whatever.
every bidder had a assigned number, so we just went off the number. One thing you knew is, going up there to the sheet is what the highest bid was on that sheet.
I just know Keith and I need to have some guidance on the car, at least the car.
Yeah,
And
correct.
The
Yeah.
shed maybe, I don't know, but the lawnmowers, I mean, that'd be okay to do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys, I would like the stuff to go as well too, you know, I just wanna get I think the county deserves a fair value for, instead of someone giving $50 for a pool car that's worth $2,000 to $3,000.
Anybody out here have a suggestion for us?
I
Thank
like
you.
the way they did it the last one was, couldn't see who was doing what, it was just a number, and I think that worked out.
I couldn't tell when Cameron was bidding, so I couldn't outbid him.
I'm
That
pretty-
type
I'm
of
And that was a
pretty
silent auction, and I can do a silent auction board for everything out there.
You getting a lot of stuff in already?
Not yet. I mean, pretty much everything that, almost everything that we have inside the courthouse is, already in the museum, but I'm anticipating, I don't know, what Kent has, and I don't know what fully the scope of what Bob has either.
I think Kent's gonna do his own thing, right?
Yeah, we were planning on doing it on.
Okay, alright,
Right.
then
And we need to contact Carol Mann.
yes, correct, yep,
And when is it, the 20th?
20th, 9 AM.
So if we would have a minimum bid for the car,
That'd be the easiest way.
I think just have that on the sheet and then go from
Okay.
there.
So for the car alone, minimum bid,
Or we could make him stand there and auction it off.
I can do that too.
The people have to be here and they're not gonna stay for the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, if you give people a chance to raise it, then it's going to see a bid and somebody decides,
Yeah.
I'm not an auctioneer, but I'll stand up there, I mean, just for the full car, I can, I mean, but I prefer to do like sealed or
What I'd
silent.
like to do is get the list ready and get it in the paper for the, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd like to have it in there.
So we would have to know at least by Monday by noon.
And the car's operable, right? It's just been set. What about the EMA? Very nice. You gonna have yours up and ready?
By the 20th,
Yeah. Who's taking the radio then?
probably me.
Well, can we get a picture by this Friday?
Yeah.
Which
Without
one is it?
the lights or whatever? Okay, all right. I thought you said it was.
Just cut wires, just don't cut the one that starts it.
It's the old detective car that you gave.
Silent auction. Silent auction across the board.
And I think that's what they're discussing.
Okay, well, so are we in agreement that it's gonna be just,
Right in the paper.
bid on paper,
Like a silent auction.
silent auction kind of thing, except for the car, we're gonna put a minimum bid on it, is that right? Where do you wanna put the minimum bid at?
Forward.
You looked on the values,
Correct.
if you want to get a percentage of that
I haven't looked at what,
value.
I don't know what Doug has, but I can get with him, find out what that is well too, but I'm sure.
Like 70% of that value maybe would be known to, or 50% to start out.
I would go 50. Is that all right with you?
Okay.
Okay,
On the full car,
anything
50%.
else?
That'll be it.
So,
Good luck.
make a motion that we need to advertise this for 2 weeks, so I can spend the money.
So it's
You got a motion? Second, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Trapp's up. Good morning, Larry.
Morning, somebody said they was, I'm surprised the commissioners let me come and talk. But, the reason I'm here for is kind of give you an update on what RDC is doing, redevelopment commission. One is the residential tip. And I want to speak a little bit about that is, this is the best opportunity that I see Carroll County has in getting more residents in here. I mean, we've tried in the past, but we was limited because we was only one TIF district, and it had to be in that TIF district. So now with this residential TIF, it's gonna make it easier for us to oversee and help get residents in Carroll County, which you guys all know that it's going backwards instead of forward. And so this is this is the golden opportunity, I think, for residential housing in Carroll County. It's a start. It's a little confusing, but it's all gonna work out, I can guarantee you that much. The reason I'm here is that we are doing a project, it's gonna start probably in the spring of 2022. We are going to widen 421 from County Road 100 back to the heartland. We're working with NDOT. NDOT is supposedly gonna redo 421 later that spring, sometime in 2022. So we have been working with landowners out there, getting easements, and we've got, we're gonna be taking bids next Monday for the project, which is gonna be somewhere around that $850,000 project.
Are you making it a 4-lane?
Yes. Yeah. We're trying to make a little, we've watched it and we said it's a little confusing out there, so we're gonna have turn lanes. So this should help out a lot more, because there's a lot of confusion out there sometimes.
That would probably help with the accidents.
Yes.
My sister was doing that one, and they got cut out of the car out there.
Right. So that's the reason why we're looking into doing this project.
What was the last thing you said, Larry?
Excuse me?
What was the last thing you said there?
That's the reason why we looked at it going to do this project, is we thought there was so much confusion out there with the turns coming into IPC and going out. And so that gave everybody a chance to have turn lanes and work with, and since NDOT was gonna redo 421, we thought it was a golden opportunity to get it done and do it to their specs. And then we're scheduling our project to be done before NDOT starts. So if there's something that needs to be done, we can get it done, or NDOT will cover what we're not covering on pavement wise. So I think it's a good project for the county to start with.
Sounds great.
Do they have any plans on doing anything south of that intersection?
At this point, no. We're waiting, I guess the RDC is waiting to see what NDOT's doing south of the intersection. RDC has asked NDOT to make the turn lane coming from 18 to 100, make it longer and wider so semis can make the turn. And as if you've ever noticed out there, when we widened 100, we specifically asked for that turn to be a lot wider than it had originally been. So that's where we're at today on that. The other reason I'm here is come January 1, the RDC is going to regroup. And you as commissioners appoint the RDC members. You appoint 3 to the commission and 1 to the authority. As of today, I know of 2 members that are on the commission that have expressed not coming back. And so I think I wanted to inform you guys that you really need to start looking and try to get a person that understands where this county needs to go. Not backwards, but forward. There's some people that have agendas. You'll want to be very careful. You put them on this, things could go sour in a minute. I mean, Yes, we do. We have $4 million in our account. But we have bonds to pay off. And also, we are trying our best to get industry in here. And that's the reason we have that $4 million account, is because if we can provide incentive to get businesses in here, that's what we're willing to do. So I'm up for questions for you guys.
So you anticipate we're gonna need to fill 2 spots?
At this time, I know there's 2 spots that's gonna be needed to be filled by you guys.
Well, of course, I hope that that will be included in the paper. We need to be, we need to be, mindful of that,
Yes.
find the right person.
But
Yes,
that's the main reason, is I just wanted to come and inform you guys what was gonna happen, and, you know, January 1, things is gonna be changing. So you, in the past, it's been February before you guys approve
yes.
the commission. So that's why I came here in November for you guys to.
Well, I like it that you guys are willing to come in and talk to us now. Before, it seemed like, well, I talked to you maybe twice the whole time I've sat here in a meeting.
I understand that too.
I'd like to meet with,
I guess,
with you guys at least quarterly. You come in and give us an update of what's going on, and if we have questions, we can actually exchange what's going on.
and maybe that's my fault as being president, I didn't inform you, but I guess I didn't feel like I needed to take up your time with nothing that really is going on. Yeah, we have a meeting once a month,
Right.
but all we do is either we accept claims or,
We appointed those people, and they've never really came in and give us any updates.
yes,
So that's something I would like to see.
okay. I will pass that on now. Thank you guys very much.
Well, don't go anywhere yet.
Did you have a question?
Well, I just wondered, do you wanna invite people, community residents to
I don't know how else to do it.
written, I mean, you know, do you want letters from them of interest now? I mean, starting now? And see, I'm not sure how you'd wanna do that, and I'd be happy to write it if I, you know.
I appreciate that very much.
I mean, you can run an ad, you know, you can do all sorts of things like that. Certainly, I'll put it in the story, and it could be a headline, too.
Are there any requirements other than being a resident of the county?
No.
Do you have to be a landowner?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys discussed, oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Have you guys discussed about helping us with the easement way for the new jail, if we ever get it, on that south side of the road? Cause I think that'd benefit you guys.
It's
as much
been
as
in
it
our
does.
thoughts. Have we discussed it? No.
Okay,
I
'cause
mean,
we're in
we-
negotiations now with the easement part, and yeah, I think it would help us and the council if you guys could talk about it and give us an answer.
It's hard for the RDC to talk about anything until something's presented to them. Because it's an unknown of what we'd be looking at.
Okay.
So I feel like that's the only way we can discuss it. It has to be brought in front of us first.
So that means mention it today.
No, you gotta come to the
You
RDC.
gotta come to RDC meeting.
I'm not gonna do it.
Alright.
It has to be presented at our meeting, I feel like.
Right,
That
I
way,
understand.
everybody knows what's going on.
Alright. Cause I think, I mean, we've talked about it in our meetings, that get you involved, and that way it'd be easier on both of us, cause in the future, you guys probably wanna connect with that.
Sure. Yeah. So,
Alright, thank you.
all right, thank you.
Got questions? Got questions?
Yes.
No, I was just gonna coattail, that conversation that just took place. I think in one of our joint sessions, Bill, between the commissioners and the council, I mentioned to you that you folks need to be approached because of all that ground to the south that's included in that TIF district. It makes absolute sense to me that with the jail project, yes, we're, above the curve, because of any development that may potentially take place. However, I do know well enough that a lot of companies love to see what they consider shovel-ready. And if there is involvement with you folks, it's there. The utilities, the water, the septic, everything is there. So it makes sense. Yes, it's prior to anything that, you know,
Right.
any development that may be taking place, but it would be there. And
Right.
it makes an awful lot of sense.
Well, we got two council members that sit on the board, can they bring it up in the meeting? Cause they're the ones that's gonna have to talk to you about the finances anyway.
Yes.
When we get the new number of what we expected to cost, I don't mind going before them and asking if they'd be interested in it, but I wanna know that number and everything before I go talk to you.
Correct, yeah, and that's the first thing we would ask, is what's the number? So, and Scott, you brought up a good point. The only thing I'm gonna say is, shovel ready's great. We did it to, the industrial park out there. But we set guidelines on what could be put in there because water and sewage. We can get shovel ready for probably something else, but what factors do we use to say what size sewer pipe we need, what size water line we need?
What parameters should you be using?
Yes, that's the number one question that would
You're
always
limited in
come
what
up.
you're allowed to put in there.
Yes, and then, but we also gotta know is what is going to be put in there, how much water usage are they gonna have, or how much sewage usage they're gonna have. Which make a big difference on the size lines you put in, and whether Delphi would be able to handle the extra water usage if there was extra water usage. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Auditor Beth Myers.
Nope, you don't.
Oh, I missed one,
So
Madam
do you
Carroll.
want her to put, they send a letter to you?
What's that?
So do you want Debbie to put in there?
Yeah,
send
we
her
never
a letter-
finished that
Send a
conversation.
letter of interest.
Letter of
I
interest?
think that they should, if they're interested, it'd be nice to have a letter sent to the auditor's office. Concerning,
Or they can bring it in.
yeah, you bring it in, yeah.
By when? Deadline? December
Last meeting in
15?
December?
Okay, well,
December 20th. Or December 17th, ready for the 20th, probably.
Yeah. December
17th.
17th would be good. Anything else we need?
Any more questions?
not really.
Yes, you do. I can tell.
We're going
I
to
have
have,
a comment.
Well, let's say a comment.
I think you should run an ad. I think you should remember that you appoint all of the redevelopment commission members. They're not automatically appointed
right,
in January, so you're really looking for, I don't know.
well, that's why when he said sometimes you don't do it until February,
Right.
that's because we've always held it open
Yeah,
for interest from other people.
yeah.
We're going to have another vacancy that we're gonna have to discuss here in just a little bit too, so. Okay. We are ready for, Madam Carroll. We have Madam Carroll sitting here.
So, Chris, we've kind of, I guess, looking for, I've reached out to NDOT Government Affairs, trying that angle. Kent, have you heard anything back from LaPorte District? So I kind of feeling that it's more of a, if they just ignore us, we might go away kind of feeling. So I wanted to maneuver a little bit and maybe leverage, the commissioners reaching out to some degree if one of you would want to, just to kind of create some, I don't know if, yeah, it's kind of been a dead end, but we're figuring out who's on our team and who isn't. And, if the commissioners could maybe engage, one of you or make a phone call to LaPorte or
Who is the
some.
one now to reach out to? Do you have the name?
I don't have it offhand, but I can send it directly to you who that would be.
Okay.
That might help, and even on the government affairs side too, that way we can
Could we use like Carroll County's got a lot of trails, could we consider this like a little trail?
It would be,
Can be anything you want.
I just think, we just need to get a hold of somebody. I think between Kent and I not being able to connect with anyone, this is probably a blip on their radar. And so we just need to make a little more noise, so.
I would push, not to interrupt, I will push a little harder on that front too. I wasn't sure what the communication channels were, how they existed. I guess my question would be, I don't wanna take up any more of your guys' time, and if this becomes a bit of a treasure hunt, so to speak, trying to get some communication there and so on and so forth, is there a drop dead date I need to circle back with you and fill in this blank, or can there be a placeholder?
But I think between our agencies, I think we can work, and then I can try to keep the commissioners updated, unless you guys wanna keep it on the agenda, or, we're here to help, so whatever.
Don't wanna hold up the rest of the budget or anything like that for you.
Oh, we can always amend it for you.
Okay.
They've already approved a lot of it, so.
Okay.
Kent, do you have, the people to contact about this in NDOT?
Yes,
You do?
yeah, but I have not heard back from them yet.
What department are they in over there?
Department of Highway.
I've got some public affairs points of contact I'll try as well, so they know it's a,
Okay, if you need contact from commissioners, get with me and I'll do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Sir. Just get with me and we'll try to work this out, because we need to beat this dog in every direction, I think, to get it to work. And we'll work with Kent here. Traditionally, engineers know where to go.
Yeah, they're engineers, yeah.
would you prefer I hold off on?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I think if you push it, he pushes it, Jake pushes it, and
It was.
we push it, we might be able to get that little dot at the bottom, and if we, the only thing's gonna make that dot bigger, I hate to say it, someone else will get rid of it.
My experience with NDOT is we're not a very big blip either to it, so, but if you two would feed me information, and of course, anything you have. let me
Yeah,
know,
I'll
too.
keep you apprised, thank you.
I'll do what I can. Thank you. Okay? It's a good project. Now we're ready for Beth.
Okay, in your packet, you should have a Maximus, contract.
Right.
It is up for renewal, they've done a wonderful job for us, I don't have the amount that they've collected for us, I forgot to do that this morning. But that needs to be signed, it's a 3-year contract. And they did not raise the price, it's $31.50, what they do is they capture revenue that we don't know to get, is my best explanation,
And they're paying for themselves basically, I think.
yes. So,
Ted, did you look this one over?
Yes, I did.
Same one the last time we signed?
Yeah, the only question I had, Beth, was on, the term on the first page of the agreement. There may be a typo there, it's for 3 years, and the exhibit is for 22, 3, and 4, I think.
yeah, it does say 21,
It says
20.
25, I wonder if that should be June 30, 2020, whatever. But
They just finished up 20, so they'll be doing 21, 22, and 23. I think is what they mean is, where you, I don't see where you're saying.
on paragraph 2, it says, it's in effect until later, June 30, 2025, for completion of, I mean, it goes 4 years.
Well, on the back, on exhibit A, it says the fee breakdown is as follows. and
Right.
So
I didn't know
21,
if they
22,
made
and
that.
23, which will be ended on, in the 24. You're probably right.
I don't think they're trying to pull a fast one.
I don't think so either, but I
So
can,
it's okay.
I will ask them and I'll change it if so. It should be 24.
Okay. What do you think, Warren?
So you're talking about these dates on the back page, 2022, 23, 24,
No, it should be 21, 22, 23. For instance, they just finished 20,
okay.
so they're gonna do,
Yeah, no question.
yeah, but he's talking about the second page.
Right, I saw that too.
Yeah, so I don't know, I need to check that out.
It does say three meetings in there.
Actually, if you wanna table it until the next meeting, I can. So I can find out, it's up to you. Send me a new page.
There's no hurry on this, is there? The deadline.
No,
Hartman and Williams.
okay, this is an engagement letter that they have sent to help with the, annual financial. We've asked for them it to be ahead of time, so this is just a continuation of what we've had. It's the same engagement letter as we've had in the past.
Okay, until we get contracted, we get the signature,
Yeah, so we're talking about Hartman and Williams now.
okay. You want to do this one too, right, Ted?
Yes.
Well, they're assisting the auditor's office, so you want this done, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion, gentlemen.
So say.
Motion second to enter into this agreement with Hartman and Williams LLC. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Give it to them.
The next one is personnel policy update, and we have a letter in there that, they have received, or we have received, and it will not exceed 2840 to update our personnel policy. We have some things that need to be updated in our personnel policy.
It's been, what, 6 years?
There's a-
2017, 24. But there are some certain things, and I wanted to get this before we went any further to see how much it was going to cost.
The cost to update the personnel policy will not exceed $28.40. Well, what's the pleasure of the board? What do you want to do?
It needs updated, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve.
We have the money for it.
Yes.
You. Second. Got a motion and a second to, I don't see any signing place on this.
No, it just has to be in the minutes, that's all.
Okay, so how do I phrase this motion? This is,
Kind of like, this could be an engagement, or a,
It doesn't even need to be a motion.
yes, it needs to be a motion.
So the motion would need to engage in calendar
Letter of
issue.
updating the personnel policy, I mean, I can, let me make a motion to
not to exceed $2,840.
Right.
review and update the Carroll County personnel policy.
That's my motion.
Okay, and you still got your second there. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Got that one.
And then I also have, I don't know whether I put this in, I don't think I put this in here. Do you have the extension office
No,
contractual,
last thing I got is the courthouse lawn.
this needs to be signed, the only thing changing here is the year.
What is it?
For the extension office and for the agreement with Purdue, she asked that it be,
We need a motion on the bill to sign it.
yes. Well,
I'm lost. What are we doing?
The extension office agreement with her.
she's
Did we
giving
already
you,
agree to this, did we?
we do every year.
Yeah.
We do it every year, and there's an annual contract between Carroll County and the Extension Office, and she needs a county official to sign both and return them on to her, and
guess there's two places here to sign on
I
this.
guess that there's two of them, yes, the two spots. I have a couple more things too.
Killings.
Our executive order 2021-017 has expired. I have been informed Friday that we might have one more COVID person. I didn't know whether you wanted to extend this, or do you want to just stop? We amended it the last time to kind of fix some of our problems with it.
Until the October, right?
Yes, and that was if somebody took off a couple days and went, got tested and they're negative, then they had to use their own sick time. Not COVID sick time.
How many times you guys want to extend it?
Yes, that's what
That's
I
the
wanted.
question, it's here to stay, so.
Well,
Why
I know
not?
Purdue, they stopped it in March.
They did?
We have a lot of counties that have kind of gone to what Ted and I kind of revamped this last time, and that was one of those changes that, also you can't, accumulate more than your 80-hour maximum that started out with. So that's kind of put a stop on some of it too. If they are staying home taking care of someone, it has to go through the health department, that they are quarantined. I mean, there are more, I wanna say more strict.
Conditions.
More, yeah, conditions that they have to go by, so I'm just asking, I was asked to ask, so I'm asking.
Well, it's expired now, right?
It is expired as of now.
Yep, as of yesterday. None of us went over their salary, we ain't paid them any extra.
No, that's not we are not closed, that does not happen.
I'm just gonna make a motion to extend it to December 31st, and that's it. So you just can't keep doing it.
And it's hopefully disappeared.
Cause if not, she's gonna come back to us again in December, if we have another.
Well, I probably will, and you can tell me no more.
Just like, just say we stop it December 31st. Extend it to December 31st. I don't think we've had anybody to abuse it. Well, just get
I'm
one.
not racing, so I don't know.
That's why we changed it, was because we need, conditions needed to be spelled out for some people.
And you'll have people just gonna get tested, say, hey, then
Yes,
the test will come
and
back,
that stopped.
then you get a 3-day vacation.
And we have had a couple of us do that, and they had to use their sick time. Or no pay.
But at the same time, if someone's sick, and they don't know for sure if it's COVID or if it's just a cold that's bad, we really don't want them traipsing in here into the courthouse and
No, they should be staying home. If they are sick, they should stay home, and they have stayed home. But they didn't go get tested until like 3 or 4 days into it, so. I don't know the answers, I really just don't know.
What do you think, Roy?
Well, I don't know, they're just saying, wherever, and I'll take care of the employees, especially the, I guess I'll know what it is, if we stop it for the year, and I'll continue next year. If that's what.
Cause they get all their sick time the first year back, right?
They get sick time on their anniversary,
The
they
anniversary.
get 4 days every 6 months.
Okay, so are you seconding? Okay, so I have a motion and a second to continue our COVID